Hungary no longer a democracy, report, so will the EU now suspend their membership? Why is abandoning democracy so hot right now? Is the steam that came off of winning World War II dying out or something? But you have to have a democracy to be part of the EU. Wonder what will happen here. The Copenhagen criteria are the rules that define whether a country is eligible to join the European Union. The criteria require that a state has the institutions to preserve democratic governance and human rights, has a functioning market economy, and accepts the obligations and intent of the EU. Misa proposed the Senate give immediately emergency powers to the Supreme Chancellor. Did anyone have this on apocalyptic bingo? The rise of these Franco-looking religious authoritarians is the most depressing thing going right now. Edit, appreciate the gold, don't appreciate the bitter DMS from authoritarian sympathizers. I like Jesus, but he didn't have an iron boot. This is the best TL.dr I could make, original, https://www. Politico. EU/article/Hungary no longer a democracy report/ reduced by 65%. I'm a bot. Hungary is no longer a democracy, Poland is about to go down the same path, democracy in the Balkans is eroding because of Chinese and Russian influence, and the EU is doing nothing to stop it all, according to the NGO Freedom House's latest Nations in Transit report, out Wednesday. According to the report's methodology, Hungary is now a hybrid regime, having lost its status as a semi-consolidated democracy due to Prime Minister Viktor Orban's continued assaults on the country's democratic institutions. Neither Poland nor Hungary has faced repercussions for damaging the rule of law at home, and Hungary's ruling Fidesz party has even remained a member of the mainstream European People's Party, the largest grouping in the European Parliament, according to the report, adding that U.S. President Donald Trump has also failed to stand up for democracy in the region. Extended summary, http://np. Reddit. com/r/auditldr/comments/gijs4/hungary_no_democracy_report/FAQ, http://np. Reddit. com/r/auditldr/comments/31b9fm/FAQ_auditldr_bot/version 2. 02-4847227TL, DRS so far. Feedback, http://np. Reddit. com/message/compose, 2=%23 auditldr PMs and comments are monitored, constructive feedback is welcome. Top keywords, report #1 democracy #2 Hungary #3 influence #4 countries #5. The Balkans is eroding because of Chinese and Russian influence, and the EU is doing nothing to stop it all. As usual, the EU will be damned if it does and damned if it doesn't. It's interesting how, according to this article, Bruxelles is to blame if two sovereign countries passed undemocratic laws. Input from a Hungarian. The reason that many people blame the EU for the democratic backslide in Hungary is not because the EU would have any say in making laws in Hungary. The current government was adopted on protest votes after the 2008 recession coupled with an incompetent and corrupt government back then. These guys are not any better in those regards either. After they were elected, they consolidated power in the past 10 years using two political issues. The first was a policy of lowering corporate taxes while keeping wages low, creating an opportunity for German car manufacturing to place low-wage, low-skill jobs here en masse. This created many jobs that would be considered absolute shit in most of the EU but were actually quite good by our standards. There is a strange duality in this regarding Germany, as our government acts very friendly economically, while hostile politically towards them. Actually, this is why many Hungarians blame the EU for the current situation. They see that there is a transactional nature in the way Germany as an EU power treats Hungary and lets it take huge amounts of EU funds. These funds then either end up in pet projects like stadiums or simply stolen. There are usually no consequences to this. The other issue was the 2015 migrant crisis. This was a way for them to ride the already rampant racism in Hungary to a two-thirds majority in parliament. This became a wedge issue throughout the EU as the eastern, less wealthy periphery bore the brunt of the crisis while Germany was inviting migrants to come, relying on the Dublin Agreement so they could take who they wanted and leave the rest here. At least, this is how we saw it. There are a lot of issues here that are so much different from the rest of the world. For example, you might think that religion is a big drive for our right wing in the same way as the US right. And it may be partially correct, but as I see it, in the time of the Warsaw Pact, religion was a way to rebel against the communist regime and being religious was seen to be a progressive thing, so it is very popular with our boomers, and they still see themselves as revolutionaries along with our government. What could be done? The simplest thing is that there is an institution in the EU called the European Public Prosecutor. Member states are free to join or not, and this office has the power to investigate and send cases of EU fund theft to trial. The capture of the Hungarian public prosecution is complete, but the courts are still mostly independent. If the payment of EU funds was contingent of joining, and we were forced to join, Orban's son-in-law, think our Jared Kushner, would be in prison. This way, the investigation was closed without finding evidence of wrongdoing. It's the 20s and fascism is on the rise around the world. The saddest thing about this is that 20 years ago, Orban was seen as the great democratizer, the forward-looking guy who was going to root out the last vestiges of communism and pull the country forward into sunlight. I guess you sometimes become the thing you most despise. The process is easier to understand when you assume that most of society freed after 1989 finds the new reality of pluralism, multi-party and raging capitalism very confusing and hard to adjust to. It happened much slower and much more organically through post-II World War West. So the easy way to think about it is that, people didn't mind that very much that under communism regimes there was simply one party, one ideology, one religion, strong police, and social control. It was that they were no good commies chosen by Stalin and his successors, swimming in privileges and money. Many of the Fidesz or PiS supporters, also the highly educated, have nothing against the same simplicity, so long as the fair and true members of our nation are in charge, can protect them from pluralism, LGBT, gender ideology, atheism, leftism etc. 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 The real democratic values as freedom, tripartite division of power, tolerance were never the point for freeing themselves from Soviet regime, only for minority. It was mostly about consumptionism and kicking Ruskies from motherland. Things will change after strong middle class will have few generations to go past simple consumptionism and set more ambitious goals to their existence. With coronavirus crisis ahead, I fear though more democracies will degenerate those search of strong leadership that the Lib Dems simply cannot provide per definition. Is the next civ game going to add another tier of autocracy and oligarchy that automatically applies if you stay in democracy too long? I lived in Poland when the Law and Justice Party came into power. In history class I always thought I don't understand how the people let these rulers come into power. Now I know. It's such a creeping and pernicious transformation. It's scary as hell. It's not done using shock and awe, they do it using distract and grab. And don't think it's not happening in countries like the US. The more sure you are of it not happening, the more certain it is to be happening. It's incremental and slow, and you may even support parts of it. By the time you realize it's happening, you're neck deep in it.